Yo, what up? Good morning, GMG. Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. Look at that. Another beautiful day to have a beautiful day. I got my co-host in the house. Breaking news, Tyler, this morning. Tyler, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing great. And man, folks, just off the presses, CryptoPunks the IP has been acquired.
Crazy.
By the Node Foundation, the Infinite Node Foundation. And Matt and John are coming back as advisors.
I'm going to change the title of the space to bait people.
This is huge.
CryptoPunks. Hold on. So you're saying, because you were talking about this, so that's why we kind of like rushed to start the show here. So let's just bring this up. We'll get into the whole thing after. Blah, 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 market report, da-da-da. Well, connect. Love you guys. CryptoPunks. I just went on there. Okay. So CryptoPunks NFTs account. We're excited to announce CryptoPunks have found a permanent home in the Infinite Node Foundation. Node Foundation is a nonprofit committed to the preservation and expansion of digital art. Larva Labs founders and artists Matt Hall and John Watkinson are returning to join in a guiding role for the future of punks, alongside advisory board members Gordon Gunner and Snowfro.
Huge. What an advisory board that is. I mean, I feel like
I like that.
That's like the dream team.
I have to say, this is great. First and foremost, shout out to Yuga Labs for, I believe, making the right call here. We did see, remember when there was rumors and we had a market on that, and then Garga said yet or find the right person. Remember, you pointed it out, that little sentence thing. They didn't say no, they said the right person. And Node Foundation, didn't they just open a $25 million fund or something, announce a $25 million fund for art, etc.? I don't know if it was them.
I may have missed that.
I think it was them. Anyways, I could be wrong here, but I believe it was something around the Node Foundation, and they started a whole thing. I think I forgot who talked about this, or maybe I'm wrong. But point being, Matt and John are back. They're on the board. The IP can't be fucked with because it's now been given into a nonprofit, which I love. And Snowfro's in, and we all know that Snowfro's the GOAT and one of the kindest and biggest goats in the history of digital art. So this is massive news here with the IP. So it appears it's just the IP, by the way. So that probably means Yuga Labs keeps their 400 something punks that they acquired during the last deal. Thoughts, Tyler? What's your first thoughts here?
Well, and they've a little bit more on the announcement. So they've got a nice model of stewardship here. If you read the announcement, they're talking about preservation, so ensuring the technological integrity and longevity. Community, so they're going to be focused on fostering an engaged ecosystem, and then expansion. So creating new contexts where punks can be studied. So I think that's a big one as well, right? I think there was always this chatter of like punks holders, they want a founder who is just going to leave it alone. Like we saw that refrain.
Correct.
Like Stats, a good friend, always pushed back on that. It's like, is that what you really want? Like,
yes.
I think there is an angle of you want an owner group who is still going to get punks out there, like get them in museums, like do more than nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying do new mints for punk holders. Like
we saw how that went, right?
The Chanel thing, right? Which was arguably the biggest mistake during the Yuga ownership era. But I think you want them doing something. Like you want them helping to run a community. I think you want them to keep pushing the brand out there into the world. So I love this stewardship model. And man, I think this is, so there was rumors of an announcement. I didn't have any inside info on this one at all. And I was wondering, like, what could it be? Like, what's the best case outcome? I mean, this feels pretty close to like a best case outcome here. Like if you're a punks holder. I
have a hard time thinking of a better case, given the people involved here. I can't think of a better case, actually. The only case is like, hey, like what happens to 440 punks owned by Yuga, which are arguably probably one of the strongest assets on their balance sheet at the moment from the company's perspective. It's pretty crazy when you think about the Yuga Labs is 400 something plus on the balance sheet, right? So like, or how are they going to sell them? This and that. But the thing is, I trust Gordon Gunner. I actually really like that Gordon's on the board of this foundation, because first and foremost, I do want to give you guys some credit because they ate a lot of shit. I'm in the Punks chat. You are too in Telegram, which has like 800 Punk members. It's very active, very opinionated. Rightfully so, by the way. I say that in a good way. And they've eaten some shit. Like Natalie too, Natalie Stone, who's been a great steward of the Punks in my opinion, has eaten a lot of shit from Punks. I got to interview Matt, remember in Miami alongside Natalie, and I think that they had a great synergy. I actually asked Matt, like, yo, like, how you liking this? Like, are they good with you, etc.? And he really liked it. So you could see something was kind of brewing. I have to say, I think this is the best outcome. So shout out to Yuga Labs for picking the right person, and shout out to this person for acquiring it and not necessarily trying to like monetize it like that. You know what I mean? Like it could have gone, they can do whatever they want. It seems like they're doing the right choice.
Totally. I want to give a shout out to Yuga Labs. I actually think, I give them a pretty good grade during their tenure. I'd probably give them a B, maybe a B plus. I think they did a lot of positive things.
I mean, they got us to the ICA Miami.
Yeah.
They did the Georges Pompidou. So Georges Pompidou is an icon in the art industry. It's like the top, right? Tier 0 exchange type thing, right? So they've done the good job, you know.
Given how much shit, like as you mentioned, that they got, during the takeover, and then of course the Nina Chanel Mint was,
sure, that was a slip, whatever, you know.
Yeah, I think when we look back on this era 10 years in the future, I think that's a small blip on the radar.
Yeah, they sold Meebits to the right person too. Like the most obsessed person with Meebits. Sometimes I feel like Sergito likes Meebits more than I love my fiance. Actually, he was just texting me 5 seconds ago about Meebits. And now they've sold this to the right person. Yeah, it says it here. To guide this journey, Notice assemble an advisory board made up of visionary voices in digital art and history of punks. Matt Hall and John Watkinson, Larva Labs. Wiley Arno, which is Gordon Garner, Yuga Labs, Eric Calderon, our blockchain, which is Snowfro. In addition, we are happy to share that we will be enlisting during this transaction Natalie Stone to continue her tour. Okay, so she's going to come as an advisor to Node. This is good.
Yeah, that's great.
Very happy for her. This is good news. Here you go. See, there it is. ICA Miami, LACMA, Centre Pompidou, ZKM, Toledo Museum of Art. This is a great outcome.
Oh, and they're launching a major exhibition of the full 10K collection to debut in Node's permanent hub and space in Palo Alto.
Wow.
Silicon Valley.
I mean, that's the right place for the punks. Wow.
Love that.
I don't believe someone saying you got paid millions to release the IP rights and then hand the legacy over to a nonprofit. I don't believe they handed it over. I believe this was an acquisition of the IP, by the way. It's not like Yuga Labs said, hey, here's the IP. I believe they sold it. And I think it's a smart thing. Wow. Very cool. I'd love to have the Note Foundation on the show.
That would be incredible.
I think Benny might know them. So that would be nice. We would love to see if we can get them. So let's see. Should we go? I mean, I hate to do that, but should we see how the market's reacting to it?
That was my first thing. No sales yet.
I mean, there was some sales, over the last few days. Rumors floating around. The Punk Bitcoin race was good, brother.
Wait, did it just jump to 47.9? Wait, maybe some sales.
It did. It's coming in right now. I think it's just hitting. Let's see. Here you go. Recent 2 sales just now at 47.854. Oh, sorry, offer. No, 1, 2, 3, 4 sales here. Sweet. Floor sweet.
Wow. Oh man.
We're casual $500,000 floor sweet,
We're dominating that Punk Bitcoin spread. Dude, right now, baby.
We're making Bitcoin our bitch. Come on. I wish Mando was here to hear this.
Look at this floor. This is the thinnest I can remember seeing it, and I've been watching it fairly closely because I
watch it every day.
But I mean, it's thin to 55.
I know.
50, and now
this one's so nice.
I was looking at that one today, actually.
I know the thing is, like, do I want another Punk or do I want a Nautilus? And I'm just like so torn. That's a 57.12 right there.
Two Nautiluses here soon.
I'm not gonna lie, brother. Like, put that way, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, in the Punk Patek Philippe ratio, you probably bet off of the Punk as well.
At least in the near future. I mean, I think people who bought them at 80K a week ago, they're feeling real good.
Hear me out. floor punk. So buy a punk floor. Use the collateral to buy a Patek.
All right, now we're talking.
Now we're talking.
You can get a 60% loan, right? So,
and I can also get a loan on the Patek, on like those fucking. Should I like do some fuckery here?
What are we doing? Why are we all doing this?
Like, should I just do some fuck
punk
shit?
with the Patek, baby.
Hey, I'm solvent as fuck. Like, I can afford paying up the thing, you know, whatever the thingy, like a monthly whatever fee it is. Like, yo Gandhi, hit me up.
I think we just stumbled onto something. Who's
Gandhi? I got a partnership opportunity for you right here.
This is awesome.
What if, like, you know? Anyways, today on the show, well, look, we'll talk about markets. We'll talk. We have to start with that, lads. You know, it's arguably the biggest news of the day, though. We're getting like some Chinese news flowing in right now as well, Tyler, nonstop as well, and it's good.
All right.
Just now, I feel like we just have to go right into that. Where is it? I just saw Walter Bloomberg like spam my notifications. Wow. Okay, hold on. Trump announces $600 billion Saudi investment commitment, followed by China says tariff cut on U.S. goods to take effect May 12th.
Yeah.
That's yesterday.
Yeah.
China Finance Ministry to reduce the 34% tariff rates on U.S. goods to 10%. China Finance Ministry to pause the 24% tariff rate on U.S. goods for 90 days. Holy shit. And China to cancel additional tariff imposed on U.S. products until 2 later rounds of measures.
Yes, they moved quick. So basically, the trade deal is now being executed.
Executed as of yesterday. So they made executive like effect yesterday.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's good. I think there is a little bit. I mean, we do need to caveat. Like, so like I've got a friend in ecom who he runs a e-bike shop and he gets his parts from China. So now, I mean, it is a 30% tariff. So his parts are 30% more expensive than they were before liberation, but they are not 145% tariffed. So now, I guess he's at least in the position where he can start to make plans. Like, does he want to buy these parts at a 30% premium? He can start to think about what that means for his pricing.
Yeah.
At least he can start to move forward, right? Versus like we were in this 4-week period where you couldn't even make decisions.
Tough.
Yeah, for the most part. So I think there's some clarity. Of course, there's still a big unknown what happens in
of course,
days, but progress
nonetheless. Looks like the looks like that was a bullish Geneva meeting over the weekend. Looks like they had a good time. Anyway, so look, at this stage we already started the show. You know, I just want to give a quick shout out to our partners over at Wallet Connect. I do have to say that because I didn't do the ad read at the beginning of the show. So we'll do markets. We'll go over Tyler's top 100 and we'll do a giveaway. So make sure you sign up. Rafflebot.xyz. I don't know the code yet. Never mind. It's Punks. PUNKS for a chance to win some money today on the show. Make sure you use our referral code, FOMO HOUR on neat.com. And lastly, the show is powered by Wallet Connect. Wallet Connect is a connectivity network shaping the future of on-chain UX. If you've connected to Web3 app, you've seen Wallet Connect. That blue logo, it's everywhere. An icon of trust in crypto is recognizable as Visa checkout. Want to learn more? Follow Wallet Connect on X and Telegram to stay ahead of what's next. Tyler, let's take it top down and see what news you got for us today.
For daily NFT and crypto analysis, Tyler T on FOMO Hour calls the kids can't miss.
Yeah, crypto majors have been on a bit of a roller coaster here over the last day. Looking slightly red. Bitcoin 103,200, ETH outperforming just a tad at 2540. We had Goldman Sachs. They reduced their U.S. recession odds to just 35% after $2.2 trillion was added to the stock market on Monday. And it looks like that NASDAQ up another 1.5 points here today. So we might be in for another green day. House Republicans, they introduced that Trump draft tax bill, which featured several major changes, but no mention of crypto, at least yet. So no tax cuts on those capital gains, folks. Coinbase added to the S&P 500 index. It's going to go live next week. It replaces Discover as a bit of a sign of the times. And that Coinbase stock up 16% today. So the market likes that quite a bit. In other news, American Bitcoin, a subsidiary of Hut 8, which is backed by Eric Trump, they announced plans to go public via merger with Gryphon Digital Mining and to become a Bitcoin acquisition company built with strategic reserves. So the Trumps are going deeper into crypto, and another company now added to the list too is acquiring Bitcoin. We also had this GD Culture Group. They announced plans to sell up to $300 million in stock to buy Bitcoin and Trump coin, despite warnings from the NASDAQ that they are already set to be delisted. And they're just a $30 million company. So we're seeing more and more of this. We had the SEC chair, Paul Atkins, say his priority is to develop rational regulatory framework for crypto. So some positive rhetoric there. And then New York City Mayor Eric Adams invited crypto companies to establish themselves in New York City. Says he wants to be the global crypto hub. So strong words from the New York City mayor. Let's see. In token airdrop and protocol news, Solana DEX volume hit a 9-week high this past week, 35.6 billion. And somewhat of a sign of animal spirits returning. Pump Fund, we shared it on yesterday's show. They announced creator revenue sharing, 50% of Pump Swap revenue going to creators. Ethereum developers are already preparing for that next Fusaka upgrade, aims to reduce costs for layer 2 solutions and validators. Paradigm, this was an interesting one. A Paradigm researcher introduced the concept of multiverse finance.
So interesting.
Allowing users to make trades based on future potential outcomes using prediction marking bet tokens as collateral. So we may have to dig into that. And then CoinDesk, 4 new prediction markets along with Myriad ahead of Consensus 2025. So go check those out. I'm sure we'll pull those up. Abstract Chain, they launched their full EVM compatibility yesterday. Blast is ending a service agreement with Safe as they integrate their own native multi-sig. In memes and AI, AI board is slightly down. Virtuals is getting added to Kaido today. So that's a big one. So expect a lot more virtuals yapping on your timeline. Memes were red, but this Launchcoin, it was the story of the day.
Tyler, you didn't call that one. You didn't send us that one.
I apologize.
You're good. You sent us Housecoin at like 5 mil, dude.
It's up to 150 million. The Launchcoin, the Believe app ecosystem now over 300 million.
God.
Several tokens up 7 to 10x on the day. So this is the talk of the town. Internet capital markets are back. I see it 2.0. Jelly is early.
Dude, can we? So I'm assuming you have, that's the end of your use because I want to start there. If you're good. So let's start there because I kind of want people to like. I'm obviously sidelined, yes, but also busy, so I missed that completely. I wish I didn't. In retrospect, it seems like a lot of people got it, but so look at the chart. So holy shit, like this launched in Jan, went to 80 mil, went exactly to zero, like literally zero. Sideways until now, and just went from April 28th from 1 mil to 160 mil, so 160x in a few days. What is Launchcoin? Let's take it from the top. I heard this Pasternak thing. Now Nikita Beer. Let's take it from the top. What is this whole thing?
Yeah, so Ben Pasternak previously launched the Cloud app, and that's where you saw that initial token spike. And he launched a Pasternak coin on Cloud. Cloud didn't really make it, didn't really see a whole lot of product market fit. So he quickly pivoted to this Believe app, which allows founders to list projects by posting on X and giving a ticker. And then they effectively have launched their token on the Believe app bonding curve. If it hits 100K, it graduates, it goes to Meteora, where creators and the Believe team will split 2% fees.
Okay.
The Believe team, they have a full playbook for creators talking about kind of best practices for how to launch their tokens. I think this is a little bit more catered towards actual products.
Yeah.
A little bit more towards like, a little bit more of like a VC app. So these are more apps, vibe coded products, like that type of a thing, versus AI agents or versus just pure shitcoins. So these are not shitcoins. These are actual products, at least for the most part. Ben Pasternak, the founder, Nikita Beer is clearly tied in. He's been talking about the project a decent amount on X. So that's there's an actual app that you can download on your phone, and you can get access to trading the bonding curve and see these products. You can also trade them on Jupiter or whatnot. I think that the thesis here is, so this is Internet Capital Markets 2.0. This is that idea that we had back with Jelly. It's not exactly equity. So they're very clear that you are not getting equity if you buy these tokens. So I think there's a little bit of a debate discussion over exactly why a founder would launch a token, versus going the traditional equity route. You could do both, and they outline that in their FAQs and their playbook.
So I should just go ahead and launch Myriad on it, on Believe.
If you're buying the token, you are not getting equity. You need to understand that.
So this reminds me, we thought that in NFTs 2021. So like maybe be careful, okay? Been there, done that.
So it's a launch pad for products.
Basically. Okay, got it.
There are a lot of parallels to virtual. And I think a part of the bull thesis here is everyone's been wondering, what's the next meta? What's the next meta? Is it going to be AI 2.0?
This is a crazy meta. This is the AI 2.0 meta with a layer on top of it, because it looks like it's real products being built, not just fucking slop.
Exactly.
I'm assuming. That doesn't mean I'm right. I'm assuming.
Now, you have to evaluate each of these projects and tokens.
Correct.
Like, is there merit in this? Right. So one of the projects, Dupe, I think that's the furniture store where you can look and find like the true value of your furniture. There's one, Alex Finn launched Creator Buddy. It was one of the
no way NFT God.
It's up to 20 million, and then this Noodle token is the hottest launch from last night. So
I saw the game. Yeah,
the Riz GPT founder. So I didn't really know the Riz GPT lore. So this guy he vibe coded an app to provide AI replies for dating apps. And I think it was one of the first vibe coded apps to really go viral. And one of the
this is fascinating.
Launched this Noodle token and game. It's basically the snake game, but with a gambling component. And I think part of the reason why it's been taking off, one, of course, is just like the broader speculation and froth in the market. But two, people think this could be one of the first apps to have a token tie-in. And what hasn't happened yet for Launchcoin, which is another part of the bull case, and I'm laying out the bull case. I'll share some bear cases as well. In disclosure, I do hold this. So I am a Launchcoin holder.
I mean, yeah, dude, I may become a Launchcoin holder myself after a dip. I like what you're saying.
They don't have the flywheel built in yet. So there are flywheels that they could add. So like virtuals, they denominate all of those LPs in the virtual token, right? So they got all the fees from that. And then they just introduced this point system where you can get access to new launches by holding the virtuals token. That's two low-hanging fruit options that the Launchcoin team could do to introduce a bit of a flywheel. And I believe Pastor kind of teased last night that this was on their radar. So he's paying attention. But we'll go through the merits of it perhaps in a bit, but we got to talk some market action. And I'm going to send you this board. It's just believescreener.com. It's like a DEX screener interface just for Launchcoin. Total market cap of the ecosystem now at 290 million. So knocking on 300 million. And you can
This is like virtual / cookie fun early days, everything all over again with more potential-ish.
I mean, look at the 24-hour changes. So this is frothy, folks. So I think if
you're watching this now after 160x and you're buying the cone, don't ask yourself why you're down in a couple days.
Yeah. So tread carefully here. I think now is the time. You didn't know what this was. Dig in, do a little bit of research, take a look at the projects, download the app, see if this is for you, and then start to evaluate. So I think part of the downside risk here to play out both sides is like, is a Noodle snake game worth $15 million? Like you do have to start to evaluate each of these, and are these bubble valuations already? And we clearly saw in the first AI meta that it was a bubble. Right. We saw valuations that were absurd based on what the actual products were. The bubble expanded, then it burst, and everything went down 80 to 90%. So I think that is a very possible outcome here as well. That we see some of these products trade valuations that are above what they normally would in a more like traditional world. Like I think one of these apps has like 300K in revenue, trading at 20 million. So perhaps that's too high of a multiple, right? But in the token game, people don't look at it that way. So that's just a reality of the game. It's interesting.
No, but also like, you know, I saw Nikita say like Web2 guys can do crypto, which is funny. But the thing about Web2 guys is they are good at making things clean. And like virtuals, like you can't even read the fucking platform. Shout out to virtuals though, but remember like had the font and you look at this and you're like, oh my God, like my eyes. I mean, I'm a big brand guy. So like for me, like it's always a nice thing. So it's like they're making it more social, you know? This is all in Ethereum. Like where does this live?
Oh, it's
like,
all on Solana. So internet capital.
Oh, sorry, it's not Solana. What am I saying? Because Nikita's involved. I'm sorry. Well, you see this, like, so that's the point I was making a few days ago, right? About ETH and Sol. Like, ETH is going to do well, and I didn't think ETH may run back to like 4K here, but this is all happening on Solana still.
It is another bull case for Solana.
See this? I love this new launch, and it keeps telling you new launch, and it pops up. There's a few of them that popped up since. There you go. See bottom right.
I think that's a bull and bear case here. So the Believe app, and then like Launchcoin is like the token of the app.
I love this UI.
They get a cut of all these creator fees. There's been 4,000 coins launched. Now, have 4,000 good products launched on this app? No. Right. So you can't, I'm not saying just go blindly ape every one of these new launches. And what's also notable is in that playbook, and I sent you the playbook that Pasternak and team put together for new launchers. They told people how to launch. They're like, you should do this at 8 p.m. Eastern on any weekday except Friday. You should come out likely with a video that performs better.
I saw the videos. Yeah.
Posts, your holders are going to expect you to post 3 times a day. I just thought that was interesting.
But this is interesting. They're teaching you how to do the fucking thing.
Well, you mentioned like this is the Silicon Valley. Like they're telling you how to do it. And like these are like the good apps are a little bit more clean, right? So like there's a little bit more shine to all this.
Yeah, this is great. I like this.
On the token history, just real quick, so originally this Launchcoin was the ticker Pasternak, so it was his clout coin. So that's why it pumped initially, and then it went to 0.
They rebranded
that first. In the rebrand, it pumped to 20 million, then fell back to 5 million, which was so strange because I was actually in that trade at that time. One of the Launchcoin tokens, Dupe, had a higher market cap than Launchcoin did, which didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, I would wait for dips here, like to see if he keeps building, which he will. Like I'm a buyer, like sub 100 probably.
It's hard to buy that 4-hour candle. Like let's just.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm good. You know what I mean? It's just
700%.
From the trading perspective, you know what I mean? When you can sell into volume like this after 100x, usually take that. This is interesting though. If this is going to be the next iteration of this second leg of this bull cycle, I mean, you know.
Yeah, from a trading lens, I'll share my. I didn't sell any. I've got a decent bag.
But why? Right? Like it's 150 mil. I know, but like why not sell like 25%? What's your thought?
I think it would be fine to sell 25%, and I wouldn't knock anyone who did that. I just, when I have more of my like conviction bet plays, I don't swing trade them. I like to just hold. And I think you just have to have a mindset of, am I going to try to swing trade this? Am I going to sell pumps and then look to try to re-add on dips, or am I just going to chip away at the bag? And I do think there's a scenario where this can go on like a virtuals like run. It's low odds, of course. It's a bet, it's a trade. But I think there is a world where it does that.
Damn.
We'll see.
Damn. That is
but
wow.
Honestly, the other aspect of this is like,
I like it.
Or are we just gonna do shit coins again? Like,
yes, we are, dude. Yeah, we are. Like,
I like coins as much as the next guy, right? But it's also nice to have something else on chain.
But like you said, is a noodle game, a snake game worth 15 mil? No, right? So we're gonna do shitcoins packaged as like projects that are like you know what I mean? Like we're gonna do the yes, Tyler, we're gonna do the same thing. We did it in the form of NFTs, right? Like if you look at, let's say, the value, and I'm not picking on them, but I'm just using an example because I was like tied to it. Like Cool Cats at 15 ETH at $45,000 a cat over the entire valuation of 10,000 cats. Let's say, what's the valuation of that company? Of the NFT thing? It's like hundreds of millions. Was it worth hundreds of millions? No, it was not. Right. So it's same thing for a lot of projects. Like even let's say like Clone X at 25 ETH, or even I love Azuki, but Azuki at 35 ETH if you do times 10,000. So a lot of these collections, right? So if you look up Moonbirds, best example, as a matter of fact. So we're just gonna do it again, just packaged differently as a coin. And it looks like we're running the same playbook as and first leg of the bull was this last leg, right? Which was internet capital markets, jellies of this world, fucking all the meme coins. Then came virtuals and the AI. So this is like the AI boom right over again. So it's like, oh, we're launching products that are gonna built by AI agents. And then but it turns out it was mostly slop. And we only realized we called it out, but people realized it was slop only once the market went down. Like Zero Bro was down 95%. And I'm naming Zero Bro because it's the first name that comes to mind, but same thing for all of them. Goat, Griffin, Ark, all of them, right? And now we're just running it back. And this is why I'm sure that we're in the second leg of this same cycle, right, Tyler? It's just very, I know people don't believe in cycles. Well, a lot of people seem to not believe, but it's just we're playing it all over again. It's the same thing.
I think we're seeing some validation on the golden bull cycle thesis, which that thesis is not that we just go like straight to 1 million by any means. It's that we have smaller cycles on the way up of a larger, longer term bull cycle. And we just saw in the run from the Trump pump from 60K to 108K, we saw a new mini cycle in AI and
you're right.
And everything crashed. We had a 3-month bear market, and now it looks like we are gearing up for the next leg up. And I think each leg up is going to have its own metas. And that's how this has been playing out, right? Like it's hard to say like past performance is going to be an indicator of the future, but it's kind of how it's been. And it is good to get in like the it thing early. And maybe we're not early. Like this eco's already at 300 million, right? And it's up a ton overnight. So tread carefully. But I think it's exciting to have something new.
I mean, it's an exciting meta. Let's get Pasternak on the show. This is cool overall. You know what? Would you rather have no activity and fucking boring things, or something coming up that could potentially give people something to play with, right? And you need people to make money. Like we need these coins to go up. We need these pumps. We need these 100Xs. We need these 1,000Xs, right? The daily runner. Tyler's back to tweeting about daily runners, bro. We need that though, Tyler, right? Like we need people to make money in this market. Like it's so good right now that all these old meme coins went up, Tyler, because all the bag holders, even if they're down much less. Or some of them doubled down at the bottom, at the lows, right? So they've somewhat recuperated, right? So this is good. This is really good, and I believe that people should be happy about it. But you guys know me. I'm always positive. I'm a perma bull. So yeah, it is rebranded meme coins. Brian saying under our show, saying all the tokens don't come with equity. So yeah, it's just rebranded meme coins. Nothing wrong with it, but the only tie to the actual companies, they become the KOL. You're absolutely right, Brian.
Yeah, that's fair.
100% fair. People need to know this. You can't just sell, by the way, equity with a token. Even though it's Trump's America, just reminder, there are still some laws in place, right? You can't just scream Trump's America like a YOLO and commit securities fraud, right? So please, if you're thinking about getting involved, maybe keep that in mind as well, because the SEC is still active, and but it just looks like they're active in a better way, right? So yeah, it looks like Jesse was just early. Anyways, Tyler, what else do you have for us? It looks like it's a good day. It's a good day.
Yeah, it's a good day. That was the big one. Do we want to go into some of these prediction market stories?
Yeah, dude. So shout out to CoinDesk, man. That was cool. But first, let's go to the Paradigm article because that was fascinating.
Yeah. So Dave White is a researcher at Paradigm. He introduced this concept of multiverse finance. It allows users to make trades based on future potential outcomes. So basically, you make a prediction market bet. So in his example, if you think that if Trump fires Jerome Powell, that is going to be bad for crypto. So if you bet yes on Jerome Powell getting fired, you have these yes bet tokens. But that market may not play out until the end of the year. So you just kind of have your capital sitting. There's not much you can do. And this idea is you can use those tokens. Let's say you bet $1,000. You can use those $1,000 in tokens as collateral to borrow ETH or USD and effectively make a synthetic long or short on a crypto token like ETH. So you can have this kind of parlayed bet that if Trump fires Jerome Powell, you want to be short ETH. And in theory, it would work because if you lose the bet, you would lose your second synthetic collateral tokens. So there's no extra risk there. And then you effectively would have been able to put your capital to work while it was locked in this prediction market bet. So I think there's some kinks to work out. That's the general idea, but it is fascinating. And I really, as a prediction market user, one of the reasons why I closed a lot of my election bets in 2024 was that I didn't want my capital tied up.
Well, that's what we do flash markets in Myriad. People
Yeah.
do not want to tie up money. They don't. Rightfully so, by the way. I don't think you do as well.
Because I mean, in most markets that you're really going to put any significant capital into, you're looking at maybe a 2x, maybe a 3x on like a real long shot that you've got conviction in.
It's not worth it.
Whereas, elsewhere, but I mean, it's an interesting idea, and I think we talked about this a little bit. It's just it highlights the programmability of crypto and the blockchain, right? Where you can have these building blocks, and then you can unlock new use cases on top of that. So I think there's something here. And if prediction markets really make it and become, core products in crypto, which I think the real possibility they will.
They are. Remember the paradigm paper saying that the top 10 things that retail is most interested about after stable coins, RWAs, and one more, the number 4 category that has the biggest interest from TradFi is prediction markets. Literally, after stable coins, RWAs, and I think it was DeFi. The number 4, after the biggest 3 things, right, is prediction markets. And now you saw Mikey Polito, the co-founder of Blockworks. I'm pretty sure you've seen this because I think you've shared or whatever I did. Anyways, talking to them now. I've been talking to Yano for a minute now, co-founder of Blockworks as well. They are interested in prediction markets because they just realized, they've known for a while, by the way, they're geniuses. They're very smart guys. And I'm a huge fan of Blockworks, that media and prediction markets make sense. We've realized that a while ago. 14 months ago, that's why we built Myriad. And now you have CoinDesk doing prediction markets with us as a partnership, which we're going to launch so many more with them because we really like them. But, point being, prediction markets make sense, Tyler. And this is why I love crypto, right? I love the meme coin thing. Obviously, I love my Farokh coin and all the Launchcoin stuff you're talking about and stuff. But, this is something that is only possible because of crypto.
I agree.
It's incredible. It's incredible. Blockchain tech is fascinating. When I read this paper, Tyler, and I knew you were fascinated too. I should maybe to my maybe I'm calling this is me doxing myself as a pleb that doesn't read enough, but I don't really read the papers usually. I read the thread, I listen to the show, I listen to you, I do my research, I talk about it, I inform myself. But I read the paper because it's not that long, and it's incredible. I actually sent it to my team, I sent it to our CPO, CEO, and told everyone, said, read this paper. It's so good, So. I thought that was great. Shout out to Paradigm for that one. Even Kobe shared it and was like, this makes me want to write papers for Paradigm.
Kobe's going to be on the Paradigm staff.
Him and Zach XBT, they're building fucking, they're building fucking Avengers of the Paradigm. Hit my line, bro. Hit my line, Paradigm. I've got a great prediction market for you can be early to. Anyway, speaking of prediction markets, CoinDesk. I'm headed to Toronto right after the show. Actually, I should probably pack my bags. We are launching prediction markets again with our friends over at CoinDesk. We did this for the Canadian market. We shared the volume, the revenue, all that good stuff. And this time again, we're launching 4 markets with CoinDesk. My good friend Sam Ewan reached out to me as I'm speaking on the 15th in 2 days. And guess who's my moderator? The queen herself, Eleanor Tourette. Let's go. So if you're at CoinDesk Consensus in Toronto, come say what up. We're also throwing an event. I'll share it later today. But point being, we're launching 4 markets in partnership with Consensus and CoinDesk. So one, Proof of Drake. Will Drizzy show up in person at Consensus 2025? Will Bitcoin at 110K at any time during Consensus? I'm not gonna lie, that's a crazy line. I think we were very generous there. Will Eric Trump, because they're coming with the World Liberty Fight team to talk. Will Eric Trump mention President Trump more than 3 times while on stage at Consensus? And 4, will Keith Grossman, President MoonPay, tweet with more than 20 exclamation points across all posts during Consensus 2025? Keith is known to love his exclamation points, by the way. So shout out to the Consensus team. They made this really cool video. What do you got? I love how you can just predict directly on X. Isn't this incredible tech?
Yeah,
they posted all the markets.
I'm probably no on Drake. What's the Bitcoin market at?
I gotta sign in, but the Bitcoin market. Let me just go directly on Myriad. There you go. Where's our consensus market? There they are. There they are. Flash markets. Boom. All right. So, oh wow, we launched a bunch of new markets. Well, Trump attend in
Consensus
person.
2025 there up top. Yeah.
Where? I'm
Uh,
so bad at this. Okay. Sorry. There you go. All right.
Bitcoin, I like that. So I don't know. I feel like we're gonna make this charge to all-time high soon, and I know this is very soon because consensus ends on Friday, so this is tight. I don't like it at even money by any means, 5-1, and like even like a quick candle up, and then we just go back into the range.
It just has to hit it.
Yeah, I don't know. I like it. I've got the bull vibes flowing.
Okay. I like when you're feeling bullish.
The Eric Trump slam, yes, but the odds are a little. They already got bet up.
I would take the yes here, but he could only just say it twice as well.
Yeah, here's the thing: you have to evaluate all these markets based on what the current odds are. So, like now, like no, at 15% is interesting.
Oh, you and I are gamblers. What about Keith Grossman? I feel like now that he's seen the market, I saw him share on his Instagram and on his timeline. Obviously, he's a good friend and advisor to our company. By the way, this is why it's the points market. It's not a dollar market. So, there's a reason for that. But I think he's gonna fuck with people.
Yeah, now that he's in on it, I think that changes the calculus a little bit.
That's why it's a 50-50. Well, nearly 50-50.
Yeah. I'll go yes. Why not?
I still take the over because Keith is obsessed with the exclamation points. Like he may slip and like put 20 in one tweet. You know what I mean? And then the last market we got is Drake. Proof of Drake. Well, Drake, let's see. Market resolution. The outcome will be determined after the market or sooner. To me, the Drake physically appears in person or venues or events. Ooh, good to know. Or events. So if the guy pulls up to one event, it's a yes. Video appearance, live or pre-recorded holograms, or any other form of virtual remote presence will not qualify. Good to know. Representatives will not qualify. So he has to come to a side event. Sounds like a no, but it's 11%, Tyler. Are we gambling?
I don't think he's going to come, but I like
don't think
it.
So either.
Man, remember the Elon bet? That was still one of my favorite all-time bets. Was from Bitcoin.
When you were following the plane,
the jet tracker. I need to get eyes on. Well, I guess, but Drake lives in Toronto, right? So there's no.
Well, he's a resident of Texas.
Oh, okay.
He moved to Texas for obvious reasons.
All right.
He is a resident of Texas now, so I wonder if we should follow Air Drake. This one's a dollar market, by the way. It's a real money market, the Bitcoin one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we made the Bitcoin a real money market because the rest can be played with, so we don't want any problems on our end as resolution is still centralized. But for this one, that'll be interesting. I mean, Bitcoin is selling off here, Tyler, on a little bit. So
just like our M2 astrology chart told us it would.
Where are we on the M2 chart right now?
We just had our massive leg up, and it looks like there's a pullback coming.
Is it this? There it is.
Yeah,
Someone posted it this morning. Yeah, May 12th, yesterday night. Colin Crypto. Let's go to Colin. I should follow him. If that's your call.
Yeah, he. This is all he does. He updates his M2 Bitcoin charts.
We're missing it from yesterday, Colin. Colin,
wake
up, dude. Colin, what the fuck you doing? So where are we in this M2? We're here.
Yeah, we're basically right into this pullback, and it's a small one.
This one there. So we went here. Well, not really. Actually, we didn't really hit 106, 107. Right? This is like 107 here. So we topped at 104 this time, right?
So it just
obviously Pico top, right? I'm saying.
Yeah. When do you think this is gonna? How quick is this dip gonna play out? Basically, is the bet. Or of course, there's a bet if you even follow this astrology. But it's been pretty damn fun.
When's the next full moon?
Today?
No.
It's coming. Have you been looking up?
I have not been because I live in an apartment that doesn't allow me to see the moon. May 20. Wait,
May 12.
Wait.
That was yesterday. Yeah.
Yesterday was a full moon.
Flower moon.
And the 27th is the new moon. Ooh. Wait, hold on. Yesterday the full moon brought us some China USA relief. Ooh. Ooh.
I like
this
it.
This is like What's gonna happen? I don't know. All right, just before we go to the last couple of topics here, raffleball.xyz, the code is punks, punks. Punks is the code today in honor of the punks IP being sold into the Node Foundation. We got the news earlier today. Gordon wrote a nice little heartfelt post as well. Shout out to Gordon. Love what you wrote. Bring back Marin. Yes, sir. Bring back Marin for sure. So punks is the code if you want to make some money. Tyler, was there anything else while we give people last chance to enter their codes into the raffle bot?
Yeah, I mean, not a whole lot. Like the Trump family going deeper into crypto, and there's some more Bitcoin company. I mean, it's just another one, right? It's more ammo for the left to continue to kind of draw out these votes or vote against some of these crypto bills. So, not sure that's the most positive news. I think that was mostly it. It was one of those days where it was very busy. There's a lot of macro news. We talked about the pump fund news on the show yesterday live when it was breaking. There's been a whole lot of like this Let's Bonk, the Let's Bonk coins versus
Let's Bonk, the flaunch. Because people are claiming that the claim that they're the biggest creator reward is false. Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of beef on the timeline between the different, like Radium and Pump Fun are going, like Radium is, well, rightfully so. They should be aggressive in their marketing. So they're really going for it, right? Like calling it out, et cetera. But game is game, right? You gotta compete. I still stand by my ground. I do not think there will be a second best in this war between Pump Fun and the other, the other platform. But I think that this will do well. Anyways, so look, if you're in Toronto, Consensus is around the corner. I'll be there tomorrow. We have some fresh markets that are launched. I believe this is effectively the biggest conference ever in Canada, by the way. Because think about it, like Consensus moved from Austin to Canada. We don't have conferences here. We have like this East Toronto back then, which was big, but not that big. In terms of like culture plus NFT, not NFTs, crypto plus this and that, like you have the Trump family literally flying in, right? So this is going to be really, really big. Like I last minute got invited to a ton of events. Like I'm going to like a Cantor Fitzgerald side event.
Oh, nice.
Going to, yeah, sick. Got the invite last night. Going to like Dapper Labs. We have ours that we rented a whole brewery. There's a few hundred rooms left. There's a lot of stuff going on. So it's going to be really, really big conference. So if you're out and about, let me know. Well, don't let me know. Just show up. and you'll see me there speaking 11:15 a.m. on the 15th with Enlor Tariff on stage. Can't wait for that.
Nice.
While the boys run show. So that's that. Shall we give away some money?
Let's do it.
Looks like stocks are sending. Right? This is right. Wow, they are. Oh. Hey, Musky Mustache. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Musky. Congratulations. You win. You are going to make some money today, Musky. Where are you? Hey, fellow Bitcoin puppet. You love to see that. Pups?
Yo.
What up, Musky?
Yo.
How you doing?
Tripping right now. Woo.
Tripping? What are you on?
I'm on my second coffee. I join and tripping balls right now.
I love that. Yes, I was just looking at Bitcoin puppets. Look here, we're looking good. We're holding strong. I like that. What's your
We're going up.
What's your target here for puppets this cycle?
0.2.
Oh, that's bearish.
Realistic.
Oh,
okay, but at least he's being realistic. I'm not gonna lie. I'd rather this. You know what though? I respect it, Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
I respect it because he could come on here and be like, "Oh, like 10 BTC," and then we'll be like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" So I'll take. I mean, as a matter of fact, I have so many puppets that 0.2 is good for me. So I'll take that. That's another 4x from here. We'll take that. Well, Musty, congratulations. Are you familiar with the show and the games that we play?
I am.
All right. So first and foremost, you've made $500 already. So congrats. You
Appreciate
are
that.
going-
Appreciate that.
So look at this. You had coffee this morning. You listened to an awesome show. You smoked a joint and you made $500. But there's a chance for you to make even more money. So are you watching us on video or are you on audio?
I am on video.
You're on video. So why don't we do some risky click, Tyler? What do you think?
I love risky click.
Yeah, let's play risky click. I made some good money on risky click the other night. All right.
All right, let's do
So
it.
do you know how risky click works?
I do.
So basically, for the people who don't know, but I'll go quick, is we have 9 tiles in front of us. So on yeet.com, use code FOMO HOUR and place a bet if you want to partake in these giveaways daily, by the way, 5 days a week. So anyways, we have 9 tiles. Each tile is more, riskier than the other one. So a 1.2x up to a 4.2x. And we'll see. Look who appears as we're about to play risky click. I love that. The man himself, and he's wearing a shirt. Mando, we're about to play some risky click. You got here at the perfect time. So anyways,
Nice.
risky. And guess what, Mando? It's a fellow Bitcoin puppet on stage with us that just won. Pups go
Oh
up.
wow, pups go up.
So anyways, he knows the game. So each one is riskier. You start with $250. You get 2 runs. Are you ready, Muskie?
I am.
All right, pick a tile. 1 to 9.
Let's do buy Bitcoin in 2010.
Oh, he wants to go for the highest. Let's
Wow.
go with this guy. Give it to him. Come on.
Oh,
I like this guy, man. I like this guy. All right, but guess what? You get another shot.
Okay, let's do number 6.
That's inject liquidity.
All right. Coin flip.
Yeah.
By the way, Mando, we need listen to FOMO Hour as one of the tile names. I know you guys were looking for
okay,
new
yeah,
names.
we're adding them.
All right, let's say 2x. All right, let's give it to him, please.
Come on.
No!
Oh, no.
Oh,
Fuck! Not for once, but we have someone who really wants to take risks.
Man, the 3x would have been nice. Look at that.
Oh man! Well, look, Muskie. Bright side of the good bright side is you made $500 regardless. So we'll send us your wallet and we'll send you some money. Thank you for listening and appreciate you for coming up today.
dude, big fan. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
All right, brother. Have a good one. All right, this is cool, man. How you doing?
Yeah, sorry, we had a call with the devs, which
You're
went
good.
over by 50 minutes.
I can
going
tell.
through all the new features that we're doing for you. So this is me off the back of a 2-hour-long
I love that.
product meeting.
I love that. It's well, look, we're looking good. Punk sold. The announcement went out. Token went 150x. Tyler was in it.
Which
And
token?
the Launchcoin thing.
This is
and-
the internet capital markets thing.
Yeah. And
ICM 2.0.
ICM 2.0. I'm so down for it.
Was
though. I'm
1.0 a success? Like,
No.
brother, we don't talk about 1.0. This is a new.
I just didn't know that the market wanted internet capital markets back. Like,
It does. And
really surprised me that was the narrative that's come back. Like, that one narrative is the narrative that's come back.
this is so funny. All right, boys, I have to go because I have to pack. I have to train to catch. But I will see you all tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for another episode of FOMO Hour on Rug Radio. Let's go.